Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss essential elements of a valid contract. Now, when we say the contract, as we already discussed, an agreement which is enforceable by law is called as a contract. Apart from that particular definition, according to Section 10 of Indian Contract Act 1872, it says that an agreement will become contract only when there is free consent and competent to parties, and if that agreement has a lawful consideration with a lawful object, and if such agreement is not expressly declared as a void, is considered as will be become an agreement, will become contract. This is what it says according to Section 10 of Indian Contract Act. So an agreement, in order to become a contract, there are certain essential elements which are to be fulfilled. Now, what are those essential elements? The first one is offer, second one is acceptance, third one is legal relationship, fourth one is consideration, fifth one is capacity of parties, sixth one is free and genuine consent, seventh one lawful consideration, eighth one agreements not expressly declared as void, and ninth one certainty and possibility of performance, and 10th one legal formalities. These 10 essential elements are to be fulfilled an agreement to become a contract. Out of these 10 essential elements, if any one of the essential element is not fulfilled, an agreement will not become contract according to Section 10, what just now or what you are looking at the screen. So these 10 essential elements are must an agreement to become a contract. Now, first one, offer. We know it. An agreement, in an agreement, there must be two parties. If one party is there, such there cannot form an agreement. Right, guys? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there must be two parties. One party should make an offer and other party should give an acceptance. So when an offer is being made, that offer should be definite, means clear. An offer should be clear. And the acceptance must be
Good
absolutely,
morning, sir.
good morning. The acceptance must be absolute and unconditional. Means acceptance cannot be conditioned. Offer can be conditioned, but not acceptance should be a condition. Okay. So then, first our essential element is offer, and the second essential element is acceptance. Now coming to the third one, the agreement should create legal relationship. If agreement create a legal relationship, then only it's going to become a contract. In other words, an agreement become contract when it is ready to accept legal consequences. For example, the business agreements are considered as a contract because it creates a legal relationship between the two parties. But whereas if there is social and family agreements are there, which doesn't create any legal relationship, it creates social relationship. Hence, such agreements remain like an agreement, but it's not going to become a contract. Then coming to the fourth essential element is lawful consideration. When we say consideration, something in return, whatever you are, when any party who is entering into an agreement, both the parties should get something in return. If something in return is not there for both the parties, such agreement remain like an agreement, but it's not going to become consideration. For example, if you look at the pic, so one party is selling the property to another party. So in return, one is getting money, and the second party is getting registration of document, registration papers or property documents. Then this consideration can be for cash. Consideration may be in the form of cash, or consideration may be received in the form of goods. Consideration may be for act of service. For example, I'll tell you in the case of act of service, that is in case if the for example, if I am agreeing to teach you a tuition for 5 years. In return, just I am getting a mobile, but whereas the consideration here for me, I'm rendering the service to you in the service is a consideration for you. In return, I am getting a mobile. So that is called as an act or service. Consideration may be for real and lawful. That means consideration may be for past transactions, for present transactions, and future transactions. Example, you rendered services in the previous year for which you can receive consideration now. And if any agreement entered for such, that is become valid. And consideration may be for present transaction. Consideration may be for future transaction. For example, we may book a function hall, which is the marriage or any function might going to happen after 3 months. That is called as the consideration may be for even for future transaction. Then coming to the fifth essential element is called capacity of parties, competent of parties. Who is competent to enter into the contract? A person whose age is major and who is sound-minded person and who is not disqualified by law under which he is subject to. For example, Nirav Modi is disqualified by law, and Vijay Mallya is disqualified by law to enter into the contract because they are already under insolvent. So these persons are not eligible to enter into the contract. So who are eligible to enter into the contract? A major, a sound-minded person, and who has not been disqualified by law. Now, who are incompetent to enter into the contract? Who are which I also consider as flaw in capacity of entering into the contract? Minor is not eligible, is not competent. Idiot or lunatic is not eligible to enter into the contract, means who are not sound-minded person. A drunkard is not in the drunkard state is not eligible to enter into the contract. Criminals who are being convicted under particular situation act, they are also not eligible. So when these persons are entered into the contract in agreement, or if in the contract, we say there is a flaw in contract, means there is some loophole, or it is wrong to this person to enter into the contract. Then coming to the consensus ad idem, which we discussed earlier also, that is meeting of minds. That means when an agreement is being entered by the two parties, both the parties should understand the subject matter in the same sense. So in the picture, it is very clearly showing a woman has two cars, and she said she want to sell a red car to him, but she didn't specify, but she only said, I want to sell a car. And immediately another person who thought she's selling a blue car, and he said, I am going to purchase a car. So it means there is a flaw in understanding the subject matter. Hence, there is no consensus ad idem, which is nothing but meeting of minds. Coming to the sixth essential element is the free and genuine consent. Now, why we have discussed that consensus ad idem is because when you are giving a consent, when you are giving your acceptance, when you are giving an acceptance, the subject matter should understand by both the parties in the same context, in the same way. If and without understanding the subject matter in the same way or in the same context, then the consent given cannot become the valid. Acceptance will not given will not going to become valid. So whenever the two parties are agreeing, the parties must give the consent to the agreement in a proper sense, in the same way, or the same thing in the same sense, according to the present conditions and present terms and conditions. Now, when we call as a free and genuine consent, when we call the particular contract is a free consent contract. Free consent contract does not mean there is no consideration. No, consent is said to be free when it is not caused by fraud, when it is not caused by coercion, when it is not caused by undue influence, misrepresentation, and mischeck. So now what are those we are going to look at? As we know, coercion, if someone is, if one party is threatening the other person by putting a gun on his point block and asking to sign on the contract, is called coercion. That is not a free consent. And even if you obtain a permission, take a signature later on, you can say that is not a valid contract. Coming to the undue influence. See, she's an old woman. In the picture, we can see that she was an old woman, and the other woman we see there, just she's directing to sign here, without reading, because she might be not able to look at because of her age, or she doesn't know where to sign. Just we are influencing the other person who is there beside that woman, is influencing the one who is signing, entering into the contract. If such influence is there, then those contracts are not called as a free consent contract. And fraud, by making a fraud, you are entering into the contract. You can see nowadays many online transactions are making fraud, and with our own, by hacking our mobiles or internet, they are obtaining the OTP and withdrawing the money. Such contracts are not called as a valid contracts, because there is no free consent. There is a fraud and there is a misrepresentation. Means the fact, it's a fake, it's a fake information, but showing it as a fact information unknowingly is called as misrepresentation. When these things are involved, when coercion, undue influence, fraud, and misrepresentation are involved, then such contracts are not free consent, and those agreements are not going to become a valid contract. Now, coming to the seventh essential element is lawful object. The object of a contract should be always lawful. It should not be immoral, it should not be illegal, and it should not oppose to public law. In the sense, any agreement entered in order to do some immoral activities which are against to our social culture, tradition, customs, are called as immoral agreements. Say, for example, if one person is taking a house to run a gambling house or to do some illegal activities, it is immoral. So the purpose of entering that contract itself is unlawful. And such purpose of entering that agreements, when it is unlawful, though that agreement remain like an agreement, it cannot become contract. And similarly, when your intention is illegal, to kill another person, you are entering into an agreement offering some ransom, which is again illegal. And you are entering into an agreement with another person to block the road or to build the road on the road to construction to do something. This is opposed to the public policy, which is for the welfare of the public. When these three are there, such agreements remain agreement, but they never become contract. Means the object of the contract, the object of the agreement should be always lawful. When a object of agreement is lawful, it's going to become contract. Otherwise, it's going to become remain like an agreement only. Then we have is eighth one, agreements not declared as void. Now, what are those agreements which are not declared as a void? That means there might have already a law in force which is restraining such contracts are called as agreements which has already been declared as void. And if you are entering into such agreements, then that remain like an agreement, it cannot become contract. For example, I am agreeing to manufacture the polythene bags which are under 5 microns, and I'm agreeing to manufacture and sell to some shopkeepers. If I enter into an agreement, and such agreements remain like an agreement, it's not going to become contract, because already there is a rule, the law in the GHMC limit, in Hyderabad limit, that that polythene bags are not allowed below 5 microns. So these agreements are not declared as, already declared as a void. So if any agreements which are declared as a void, if you are entering into such agreements, such agreements remain like an agreement but not going to become contract. So that is the 8th essential element. Coming to the 9th one, certainty and possibility of performance. Whenever you enter an agreement, that agreement should be certain, means clear. There should not be any ambiguity, and it must be possible to perform. Then only it's called, such agreement is going to become contract. Otherwise, that agreement is not going to become a contract. Okay. For example, in the first case, regarding the identity of minds, I was giving an example. A woman is making an offer. I want to sell a car. So when she said that, there is no certainty. There is lot of ambiguity. Which car? If she has 5 cars, in which car she is agreeing to, which car she is offering to sell. So there is no clarity. If there is no clarity, such agreements remain like agreements, but it's cannot going to become contract. Then possibility of performance. For example, Mr. X entered into an agreement with Y, who is a black magic person, a wizard person, where he is offering to give 1 lakh. X is offering to give 1 lakh to make his dead wife alive. Now, is it going to possible, that performance, guys? Yes? Is it going to
No,
become?
sir.
No.
No,
So
sir.
when such there is no possibility of performance, then it cannot become the contract. It is going to remain like a agreement only. Then coming to the last essential element, the 10th essential element is legal formalities. There might be certain legal formalities are to be fulfilled in order to complete the as called as a valid contract. For example, I have made a registration to you, and in the front of the registrar, I signed, you signed, both the parties have signed. But if that the registrar signature, registrar stamp is not there, is it going to become a valid contract, guys? Is it going to become valid contract?
No, sir.
Is it going to become valid contract when there is no signature of a registrar?
No, sir.
No, right? So there must be certain legal formalities which are to be fulfilled. For example, a contract has been entered, there is no witness, signatures are there, names are there, but there is no signature. Then also it may not become a valid contract. Okay, so these are the 10 essential elements to be fulfilled, an agreement to become a valid contract. So these are the 10 essential elements of our acceptance, intention to create legal relationship, lawful consideration, capacity, free and genuine consent, lawful object, agreement not declared as void, certainty and possibility of performance, and legal formalities. So these are the 10 essential elements to become any contract, any agreement to become as a valid contract.